So, you live in Monroe and you have a dog. You already know how important it is to have a well-behaved pup by your side. We're here to give you a really clear, practical guide to finding a great local dog trainer who can help you and your dog get there. And this quote, it really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Good training is all about making sure your dog fits comfortably and safely into our community life here in Monroe, whether you're just on a quiet neighborhood street or enjoying a day out at one of the local parks.
Okay, so to start, it's really helpful to understand the basic principles that are the foundation of effective and humane dog training today.
You're going to hear this term a lot, positive reinforcement. It's pretty much the gold standard for professional trainers now. Now, this isn't about just letting your dog do whatever it wants. It's actually a science-based approach where you use rewards, like treats, praise, or a favorite toy, to teach your dog what you want them to do. The most important part is that it builds a relationship based on trust, not on fear.
Let's just put these two approaches side by side, because the difference is huge. On one side, you have reward-based methods that build up your dog's confidence and create behaviors you can really count on for the long haul. On the other side, well, you have these outdated methods that use intimidation or pain, and those can seriously damage the bond you have with your dog. It's a really critical difference to keep in mind when you're looking for a professional.
So how can you tell if a trainer is actually committed to these modern, humane methods? Well, you look for credentials. These acronyms might look like alphabet soup, but they matter. The CPDTK, for instance, shows a trainer has passed a pretty tough exam on training techniques. And for more complex behavior issues, seeing something like a certification from the IABC is a very good sign that they're serious about their education.
Okay, so now that you know what philosophy and credentials to look for, the next step is figuring out the right type of training program for your dog and your family.
You've basically got two main paths you can take here. Group classes are just fantastic for socializing puppies and for practicing commands with all the distractions of other dogs and people around. Private lessons, on the other hand, give you that one-on-one attention to really focus on specific issues, especially the ones that are happening right in your own home. The best choice really just depends on your dog's personality and what your main goals are.
And of course, we've got to talk about the cost, right? Budget is a factor for just about everyone. This here is a realistic snapshot of what you can expect to pay for dog training in the Monroe and Fairfield County area. A 6-week group class is often your most budget-friendly option. Then you have things like board and train programs, which are a much bigger investment. But for some of the most challenging behaviors, that intensive work can truly be transformative.
And after seeing those package prices, a lot of people naturally ask this question. With private lessons costing more per hour, is it really worth it to have a trainer come all the way to your house?
Well, for certain behaviors, the answer is a definite yes. The biggest benefit is that the training happens in the exact place where the problems are happening. A trainer can see the layout of your home and help you manage things like jumping on visitors the second they walk in the door or stealing food off the counter, all in real time.
Okay, so let's say you've found a few trainers you're interested in. The next step is that first consultation call or meeting. To get the most out of it, you need to go in prepared with the right questions.
Think of this checklist as your game plan. You'll want to ask about their training philosophy right away to make sure it's positive reinforcement. Then, ask about those credentials we mentioned. A good trainer should be able to clearly explain how they'll tailor a program just for you, how they'll measure success, and exactly what all the costs are. No surprises, and this last one's important. For serious behavior issues, make sure they're willing to work with your veterinarian.
All right, let's bring all this home right here to Monroe. Being a responsible dog owner in our town means knowing the local rules and, just as important, knowing where you can go to practice all your new skills.
The most fundamental rule is this one. Monroe has a leash law, so unless you are in a specific designated off-leash area, your dog has to be on a leash and under your control. This goes for sidewalks, parks, and all public spaces.
And when we say leash, the town really recommends a standard, non-retractable 6-foot leash. It gives your dog enough room to sniff around comfortably, but it also makes sure you can keep control for everyone's safety, especially on our town trails and sidewalks.
Beyond the leash law, there are just a couple of other key things to keep on your radar. A current rabies vaccination isn't just a good idea, it's required by state law. You also need to license your dog with the town of Monroe every year. And be a good neighbor. Be mindful of nuisance barking. Good training can really help with that.
So, where can you go to put all this training into practice? Monroe has some fantastic options. Wolf Park is perfect for working on your leash walking skills with all the normal distractions of people and sounds. The trails over at Peck's Lane are great for practicing focus in a more natural environment. And for that off-leash work, there's one specific place you need to go.
This is a question we hear all the time. You've been working so hard on your dog's recall, and you need a safe, legal place to try it out. Where in Monroe can you actually do that?
And the answer is simple and direct. The only public place in Monroe where you can legally have your dog off-leash is inside the fenced-in area of the Great Hollow Lake Dog Park. It's the perfect spot to safely work on that recall and let your dog have some fun and socialize.
So just picture it for a second. Enjoying a truly peaceful walk at Wolf Park, having a calm afternoon at home without any chaos. That's what all of this is about. Choosing the right trainer is the very first step. It's an investment in a happier, more enjoyable life with your dog here in our community. We wish you the best of luck in your training journey and in all the wonderful experiences you're going to share with your well-behaved companion.